Hi, this is SOSF. Have you ever considered that the reality you perceive might not be what you imagine it to be? What if someone told you that this solid, tangible world you experience every day, including your own body, is just part of a massive virtual reality game? Before you rush to book me a psychologist appointment, this is precisely the theory of everything, TOE, we are about to explore, one that unifies science, philosophy, and metaphysics. What exactly is My Big Toe? Written by nuclear physicist Thomas Campbell, the My Big Toe trilogy is not one of the dry science textbooks on your library shelf. It has been hailed as the holy grail that the physics community has been searching for decades, a theory that unifies everything. Imagine it seamlessly integrating concepts we normally consider completely unrelated, such as science, philosophy, metaphysics, and even your inner subjective feelings and the outer objective world, into a single, coherent scientific understanding. Many readers, including scientists and engineers, have given it extremely high praise. Power engineer Lyle Fuller described it as unique, profound, and enriching, predicting it would simultaneously rock the foundations of traditional science and refocus philosophy and metaphysics. Physicist Pamela Knight called it an important, bold, and utterly original book, specifically noting that the psi uncertainty principle proposed in the book is one of the most significant ideas ever put forward. Simply put, this book offers a brand new perspective, a more universal physics. It claims that even concepts we find mysterious, like the mind, consciousness, and paranormal phenomena, can find a sound scientific explanation here. The author repeatedly emphasizes that understanding this theory requires no belief, as everything is based on rigorous logical deduction and personal experiential verification. As one reader put it, get ready to grab a handful of highlighters, sit down in the most comfortable chair you can find and prepare yourself for the read of a lifetime. It will turn your personal reality upside down and inside out as it unites mind, body, and spirit in one overarching scientific model. What is the fundamental nature of reality? The model of reality proposed by My Big Toe can be explained by two seemingly simple, fundamental assumptions. 1. Absolute unbounded oneness, AUO. You can think of this as primordial consciousness, the fundamental energy form of reality. Initially, it was unstructured, pure digital potential, like a vast, calm sea with no waves or boundaries. AUO is not a god or a conscious entity in the traditional sense. It's more like the raw material of consciousness itself. It doesn't possess perception or wisdom like we humans do, but it has the potential to self-organize. 2. The fundamental process of evolution. This is the driving force of the universe. It is a repetitive pattern of trial and error, a mode of spontaneous change and selection. It compels all entities and systems to continuously grow, change, and optimize through interaction, moving them toward more profitable states. Profitable here refers to being more orderly, more efficient, and having lower entropy. Just as nature always finds the optimal solution, this process is always exploring all possibilities and investing more heavily in whatever actually returns the best overall profits. Based on these two assumptions, a stunning picture of reality unfolds. Reality is digital. This might sound a bit mystical, but the author points out that space and time are not fundamental properties of reality. They are artificial constructs created by the evolved AUO, now called the Absolute Unbounded Manifold, AUM. Our physical matter reality, PMR, the world you are in right now, is described as a virtual reality or a digital simulation. It exists within the consciousness of AUM, much like a complex simulation game running on your computer. This perspective perfectly resolves the long-standing philosophical problem of the mind-matter dichotomy. Because physical reality does not exist independently, it stems directly from the nature of digital consciousness. Consciousness is the computer. The big computer, TBC, mentioned in the book is the computational model of this consciousness. It is part of AUM's vast computational function, responsible for storing memory, processing information, and executing rules. All things, including us as individuals, are considered thought forms or subsets within the consciousness of AUM. To help you better understand this concept of thought forms, imagine this. AUM is a giant bedsheet. Each of us, and everything around us, is like a hand puppet propped up by children's hands under the sheet. Each puppet is an independent individual and can interact with others. But no matter how distinct their personalities, they are all fundamentally part of the same sheet. Our individual existence is an extension and variation of this source consciousness under specific constraints. The purpose of human existence, the evolution of consciousness. So, in this grand model of reality, what is the purpose of human existence? My Big Toe provides a straightforward yet profound answer. The fundamental purpose of human existence is to evolve the quality of consciousness of our individual selves. also known as spiritual growth. 1. Evolving consciousness means lowering its entropy. A reduction in entropy increases its usable energy and personal power, ultimately reaching a high-quality, low-entropy state of love. Love here does not refer to romantic love but to an unconditional, balanced, and joyful state of being filled with compassion. 2. Physical matter reality, PMR, is meticulously designed as a virtual learning lab or training simulator. It provides us with direct interaction and feedback on outcomes, creating the optimal learning opportunity for the evolution of low-quality consciousness. 3. Free will is a necessary condition for consciousness to lower its entropy. Without free will, there is no real choice, and thus no real growth. Your choices are manifested primarily through motivation and intent, not just your actions themselves. 4. Overcoming fear and the ego is key to spiritual growth. The author compares fear and the ego to a spiritual cancer in the consciousness, which arises from ignorance and increases the system's entropy. Your ego, combined with your intellect, helps you build a complex delusional structure to rationalize your fears and needs. This forms a belief trap, keeping you stuck in your own illusions. So, how does one achieve spiritual growth? The author repeatedly emphasizes the following points. 1. Maintain open-minded skepticism. Don't blindly believe or disbelieve anything until you have personally experienced and verified it. 2. Be results-oriented. The value of truth and knowledge is ultimately assessed by the objectively measurable results it produces. As the saying goes, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. 3. Emphasize the importance of personal experience. True knowledge must be discovered by you. Someone else's truth and knowledge can penetrate no deeper than your intellect, while your truth and knowledge lives deeply and vibrantly within your being. 4. There are no shortcuts. Spiritual growth requires long-term, sustained, and focused effort. You cannot bribe, cheat, or fool the system. Doubts and the author's response. Campbell is well aware that his theory will face immense skepticism. He even anticipates and addresses these challenges in the book. 1. A challenge to traditional worldviews and beliefs. Campbell states bluntly that his theory is likely to challenge the belief systems of your culture and may cause you serious discomfort. This is because the core belief systems we are taught from a young age, such as PMR is all there is, form belief traps that make us blind and limit our growth options. 2. Resistance from traditional science. Campbell criticizes traditional science for being bound by the limitations of its core beliefs, suffering from self-induced myopia that focuses only on local causality and details. He points out that Albert Einstein's search for a unified theory stalled precisely because he tried to describe the big picture exclusively in terms of little picture logic. Campbell believes his theory aligns with the explorations of many top physicists like David Bohm and Niels Bohr, as well as the digital physics movement, but that his theory provides a more complete framework. 3. A challenge to human egocentrism. The author acknowledges that his constant devaluation of the ingrained, self-satisfying importance of our culture might upset some readers. He uses the analogy of intestinal bacteria to describe humanity's smallness in the larger reality. Just as intestinal bacteria cannot comprehend the stock market, humans often, out of arrogance, deny the limitations of their understanding of the larger reality. To counter these doubts, Campbell employs a clever response strategy, the core of which is the repeated emphasis on open-minded skepticism, being results-oriented, and the importance of personal experience. He encourages readers not to believe blindly but to experience and verify for themselves. Summary and outlook. My Big Toe takes us on an unprecedented journey into reality. It reveals that the world we inhabit is not the ultimate entity but a digital simulation created and maintained by consciousness. We humans are individualized fragments of the vast digital consciousness system of AUM, endowed with free will, and our purpose is to achieve spiritual growth by lowering the entropy of our consciousness, ultimately reaching the highest quality state of love. This journey is full of challenges, as it requires us to move beyond long-held cultural, scientific, and personal beliefs. But if you can approach it with an open mind and healthy skepticism, you will discover a unified model of reality that is free of paradoxes and logically self-consistent. This shows that My Big Toe is a truly serious scientific bridge connecting physics and metaphysics, mind and matter, the normal and the paranormal. The end of this journey is not a definitive answer but an open invitation for you to explore, to experience, and to verify for yourself. This big picture of the evolution of consciousness not only offers a profound understanding of how the universe works but, more importantly, points you toward the meaning of your personal growth and existence. Your life is a mirror of the quality of your consciousness. There are no shortcuts, and no external force can truly stop you, except for your own fear and beliefs. So, what about you? On your own life's journey, will you be the one steering the ship? Or will you be locked in the trunk, or dragged along by a rope? kicking and screaming all the way. Whichever path you choose, remember, what you are experiencing is what you have created. See you next time.